Welcome to the dungeon of my haunted house, plum scum.
You'll never get away with this, wiseacre.
That's Wizenheimer. Wizenheimer.
Wisen whatever.
Super Mario, Super Mario, Super Mario World.
Super Mario World was a show from the past. And if you're thinking it's good, well, you'll be sorry you asked. Delfino and the Peach here are watching what they can. The budget was $2 and a piece of ham.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World, it just looks like ass. The Supershow Saga, it's a gas!
Unfortunately, it shall be a bear forever.
It'll be the bear. Who called them an otter? Was it you, Peach?
Now you're just making me think of that Nailed It episode we were watching.
Which one?
It's the one where it's the Jewish episode where they're doing a Hanukkah celebration.
Oh, okay.
And so the guys, like, they have to make a polar bear cake that's wearing, like, a Jewish sweater and has, like, a dreidel. And so the guy's like, yeah, my husband's kind of got this bear thing going on. Like, he's not a full bear, though. He's got, like, 10 years on him.
He's not in the age range to be a bear.
He's more like an otter right now. I'm just like, oh my god.
Wait, what is this?
It's a show called Nailed It. It's on Netflix. It's hilarious. I've laughed until crying watching that show. It's so good.
It's crude, but it's not crude like they swear a lot, but it's crude in that it presents realness that other baking shows do not.
Oh, well, the only one I've watched on Netflix is the British one.
Oh, I love the British one.
That's the staple.
Yeah,
but with Nailed It, it's that they get 3 people who are absolutely not bakers and who are known for being terrible bakers, and they're like, who is
and
the
they
best
enter
of the worst?
No, let's just watch that. Okay. I know what we're talking about now.
Okay, your wife has watched it. People who enter, sometimes they're like, I want to get better. I want to prove to others or to myself that I can do better. There was one mom who entered and she just had 110% positive attitude going in. She's like, I have 2 daughters and one has a disability. So if there's anyone who can get going when the going gets tough, it's me. I'm doing it. It's the best. And she won the full competition.
Oh, wow.
She's running around like a crazy person the whole time.
It's true. She emulated our mom a lot. Doing mom dances, all that.
I think moms just have like a mom energy in general because everybody's mom has like the same energy, but it's different in different ways. Like my mom would be the exact same way. If I saw her like running around doing dances and, you know, like just making like weird, odd hand movements, I'd be like, oh, my mom does that. So it is just a mom energy.
Mom likeness. But I think one of my favorite guests was, I think his name was Bob. And Bob entered. He's like, I'm a retired army engineer. I know what I'm doing. Entering the steps. And the thing is they provide the recipe and everything to the people. It's not a challenge for them to come up with the recipe. It's please follow the recipe. And then sometimes the contestants are like, I don't like this recipe. I'm going to add more butter.
This seems like too many eggs. Why would you need so many eggs in the cake? I'm not going to use all the eggs. It's like, really?
And then at the end, they're like, so your batter was pretty darn dry and rock solid. And she's like, yeah, I don't know what happened.
Enough eggs.
She's like, really? I couldn't tell. And they're very honest about, I didn't know.
Was Bob the guy who went to microwave his butter in the microwave? And he stuck it in for like... Bob. He stuck it in the microwave for 4 minutes.
I don't think it was Bob. I think it was Dr. Eggman did that.
No, that wasn't Eggman. It was
okay.
It was somebody. I think it was Bob, but
maybe Bob.
They stuck the butter in the microwave for 4 minutes. It completely turned molten, and it melted the measuring cup.
It melted the measuring cup. It was one of those good measuring cups, like the kind that has a handle. It's not just the little cup with the handle. It's the glass one. It melted it sideways.
Oh my God.
So at the end of the competition, even though he didn't win, they gave him a consolation prize, which was like a gold version of his melted
beaker.
So, like, do they just go on the street and be like, hey, have you ever wanted to be in a baking show? Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. And then just be like, oh, have you ever cooked in your entire life? And they're just, if they say no, it's just like, you're in.
You're hired. I don't think so. Maybe they did at the beginning, but there's an entrant contest to it, and sometimes they'll get celebrities to cook, not just to guest star and be a guest panelist, but they'll get them to cook. Like,
they got Jack McBrayer.
Yeah, Jack Brayer do it?
Yeah, Fix It
Felix. Actually wasn't too bad.
Yeah, although he had a really good first round. Everyone did with the cupcakes. Sometimes what happens is they give people impossible tasks like make this cake, but then also do a ton of delicate and beautiful fondant work.
And
did SNL make fun of this?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched a lot of SNL in a while.
Well, I mean, you know, you start taking away my favorite people, and I don't watch it either. But as soon as Bill Hader left, that show died to me. But no,
I watched it if John Mulaney's on.
Same.
Guess sorry.
Oh gosh, it was like they'll do it, and it's just like they'll start explaining what they did before they show it. They'll be like, okay, so we asked you to make this triple chocolate brownie cake or whatever, and then the person that's presenting it, like, they don't show their cake at first, and it's like, well, here's what I did. I decided to give it an extra seasoning of love and desire because, you know, I really need the money or whatever. And it's like, you know, something you'd get out of a real baking show. And then it's like this cake is monstrous and it has like a demonic life attached to it. And like the person will be like, I don't know. I just said a couple of words in Latin and I guess it can breathe. I don't know.
It's like tentacles. I added some seafood, and you could see the tentacles in the in the cake just wiggling about.
I think one of them was just like, "Should we kill it?" And then the guy's just like, "No, that's probably not good either."
Not humane. You'll take somebody off if you.
That'll be fine.
Anywho, no, it's really good, and the head judge for it. Shoot, what's her name, Peach?
I don't know.
Thought we knew her name. Yeah, Nicole. She just presents this realness. It's that she'll eat the food. She's like, I promised I'd do it. It's in my contract.
She'll try anything, but she might not keep it in
she
her
won't
mouth
digest
for
some
long.
of it, but for some of it, she eats it.
Sometimes it's not cooked. My favorite one was one day where she's like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry this is in my mouth.
My favorite part is when the people try and remix the recipes, or they're like, I don't need to measure. This is a tablespoon.
No, it's fine. I know what I'm doing. And then they put like the whole bottle of almond extract into their cake.
Didn't somebody hog all of the almond extract? Or was it the applesauce? Someone hogged all the applesauce.
And then the guy had to pick it out of his trash bin. And they're like, did you just pick that out of the trash? He's like, it was sitting upright.
It's fine.
Oh my god.
You know, like when people try to measure things with their heart, there's only like 3 things you can measure with your heart, and it's cheese, Parmesan cheese, and actually that's it. So like 2 things. Any kind of cheese and Parmesan cheese.
The 2 cheeses. What makes Parmesan cheese different from plain old cheese?
Well, I'm
shredded.
I'm not even going like the cold shredded kind. I'm just talking about like the one that you put on your pizza. Like you know, that kind of stuff. I think that should be measured with your
like
heart.
Powdery kind?
Yeah.
I
But if something asks for just like a teaspoon of almond extract, we probably need to we need to stick with the plan.
Yeah.
Because almond extract is terrible.
Don't remix it.
Exactly.
Make it worse than it was before. Anywho, after our long baking tangent, this is the Supershow Saga.
I didn't know this was a baking show. Wow.
It's
Oh,
not.
don't tempt me.
Don't want to do a live podcast each week for new episodes of Great British Baking.
So today
The McElroys already do that.
they made jammy scones.
I really thought Daryl today. He really brought something to the table. And did you see Cameron? What was she doing? I don't know if these are real names from Great British Baking. I'm just coming up with whatever I choose.
Well, that's how our dinner conversations went. Dad would be like, "Man, did you see Jurgen? Or Jurgen? That's his name."
Jurgen.
I was so sad he didn't win.
What would you say in response?
He did have crazy eyebrows.
Were they like hashed eyebrows?
They were just very large and bushy. Kind of like caveman eyebrows, which brings us to today's episode.
Well, who are we all? I'm
Segue.
Delfino Durians.
I'm Peach Supreme.
And we got a guest star. Introduce yourself.
I'm Chris.
Cool, Chris.
Yay!
Woo.
What do you do, Chris?
Like professionally?
Mm-hmm.
You can just say on the internet.
Okay, my internet presence. I stream. I play guitar in a couple of bands. And that's about it. When I stream, I am very not good at video games. And that's what I think makes me better is when someone's not good. So
it's always more fun.
Yeah.
to lose than to constantly win.
Yeah, if you watch my stream, I'm definitely losing about 90% of the time at whatever I'm playing.
What games do you normally play? Do you mix it up, or do you have a few staples?
So I'm mixing it up a lot. My wife, she bullied me into Animal Crossing. So we're playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I've had a whole lot of fun with.
You can't really lose Animal Crossing. You could get unlucky, but that's about it.
I owe Tom Nook my entire life. Like, I will never be able to repay it. But I played that. Sometimes I have been known to go through like some of my childhood games as playthroughs. Peach was with me during all of Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion 1, 2, or 3?
1.
Yeah, just one. I haven't played. I played 2 for a minute. I didn't like it because the 3DS annoys me and hurts my neck because I'm old. And I played 3, but I haven't played through it in the last year or so. So I need to replay that. But we played 1, and then we've done some of the Zelda, like Majora's Mask playthrough. And here recently, multiplayer stuff, I've been playing Halo Infinite and Rocket League. And I'm really terrible at those.
I hear good things about Rocket League. I haven't played it myself.
It's good. The other players are toxic. Extremely toxic. I stopped playing a couple of years ago because I had one person like tell me that my parents failed because I missed a goal. So every year I check in on him. I'm like, "Hey man, how's everything going?" But he kept calling me kid, and he said some things I'm not going to repeat on this.
Oh my god!
And I had fun with it, but he hasn't responded this year, so I'm going to check on him after the new year, just make sure everything's okay.
It's important to check up on him.
Yeah, just make sure he's all right, or they're all right. I can't assume, but like they definitely were. Yeah, so I just got back into that, and like I said, it's just 90% suck at that. But I have fun. It's okay.
That's good.
This is why I stay away from hardcore multiplayer games.
It's true. Like League, people go, Unite really opened a new door for me, and I'm like, I don't want to go to that Dota door.
I have a friend that's like, she had me try Final Fantasy for the first time. Final Fantasy 10 actually. And
10? That's
one. She started me off right apparently, and I was like, I'm not into this. I played about a fourth of it, and I was like, I'm not really into it. And she was like, that's okay, I understand. She was like, but I'm gonna bully you into playing Final Fantasy Online. And I watched 14? It, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, I don't know, because even like I think any multiplayer, especially MMOs, or MMORPGs, I think that they are also pretty hardcore for what they are. And I don't want to get bullied. I'm too old to be bullied. So I just stick with Halo.
My boss at work plays MMOs. It's really funny.
Well, it seems like fun. I just, starting as kind of a grunt and just kind of grinding to be as good as everybody else that wants to be on, hey, be on my team. It's just like, man, I don't have the time. I've got a bedtime.
Gotta put in the 50 hours to get the endless hours from there.
I got a list of books to read.
I gotta work for a living.
I've got bills to pay. Final Fantasy is not helping me pay for money.
Yeah, like if it could, I would.
Yeah. I
did get Pokemon Snap for Christmas, so I've been playing that.
Oh, that's so fun.
Chill game.
It's so nice.
I think that's the reason I liked Animal Crossing so much, because everybody's so nice in that. And I'm just like, coming from a customer service background, I'm like, you know what, Lily? Thank you for making it to where I'm not going to cry today. Yeah. Thank you.
That is something people have debated about, because originally, say this is a GameCube Animal Crossing player, villagers are really mean. But if you won them over, you would feel a bond between them. Mm-hmm. Like, next door neighbor was Cherry, and she'd be like, did you hear about what Queenie did the other day? And I'd be like, oh, give me the deets.
Give me the tea.
And she'd also get mad at me. But it used to be, if you didn't play for a really long time, and you came back, some villagers would be like, oh, is that you? I didn't notice you, Peach. Looks like you've gotten a little fatter since I last saw you. It's like, what the heck? Why are you so mean?
Over 15 years later, mean. Nintendo's like, hey, let's calm that down just a little bit.
Well, it was
now they've made the grumpy personalities less grumpy and more old man.
Yeah.
And I don't have a single old person personality on my island.
No cranky?
No cranky. I have depressed emo sheep, Barbara.
That's Snooty, I think.
Oh, mine's super depressed. She's literally listening to My Chemical Romance in her house. Her house is like rain and lightning in a city, and I'm like, yo, this is kind of a cool aesthetic.
Still better than Octavian's house. His house, he's like, oh, I hope you don't mind it. It's like the moon and a big rocket in the middle and an alien spaceship, and I'm like, Octavian, this house is terrible.
Yeah. You need to change your wallpaper, bro.
I'm kicking you out as soon as you allow me to kick you out.
Oh, I had to take Barbara because my wife, she was kicking Barbara off because she got some amiibos, and I was like, you're going to cheat at the game, and then you're going to kick off this sweet little depressed sheep. And she was like, yeah. Homeless. Yeah, so I made sure she came over to my island, and she's been super nice to me. Letitia's like, she's never that nice to me. Or I'm sorry, my wife.
My wife.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, playing that game, like I said, coming from a customer service background where people, act like toddlers.
It is very refreshing.
Yeah, it's just really refreshing to have an AI for $60 to be like, hey Chris, is everything okay? And it's like, yeah, Lily, everything's good. We're fine.
Occasionally Bruce will like send me in the mail like, hey, I was just thinking about you. Hope you're doing okay. And I'm like, Bruce, I love you.
Bruce.
I wish I could give you a hug.
Do you have any history with the Mario show?
Okay, so I remember the original, like when they used to have the live action sets.
Uh-huh.
You know the meme I'm talking about where Mario's just like, kids don't do drugs or you go to hell.
Before you die.
Yeah. I remember that and like the little animation stints they had, but this was kind of a brand new thing for me. Yeah, I'd never seen this. I think the only other thing I've seen from this was like something like this was Captain N, or even like the Zelda cartoon was on for a little bit, but I didn't even know they had a Super Mario World cartoon. Yeah,
they kept it going. They cranked it out.
Put it in the machine, Mario.
I'm pretty embarrassed with this one. No one was checking the machine, and they looked over. and instead of like some good paper getting cranked out, it was just mushy garbledness.
Makes me think of that one
"What
episode of
happened?"
Phineas and Ferb where Doofenshmirtz is using a copy machine to make copies of himself, and one of them has like a paper jam, and it's just like a horrible Doofenshmirtz like.
Did that happen in Gravity Falls too?
Yeah, paper jam dipper.
No, it's okay, it's okay. And they like push a cracker in his
Here, have
face.
some crackers.
How'd this happen? But yeah, Mario World is not the best the Mario show can be, but all things considered, this was a pretty alright episode in terms of the Mario cartoon. Last week's episode was the best we've gotten from video game to cartoon interpretation. Like, it was loyal to a T. It was spooky how loyal it was, considering they're so wrong on all other fronts.
Yeah, like, the thing that got me, again, just being like, this being the first time I've ever even, like, sat down and been like, hey, there's a Super Mario World show cartoon. Mm-hmm. It kind of came off very genuine, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I was questioning with what was going on. Very first thing, I didn't know Yoshi spoke, and I have this in my notes. It's actually in question. Has Yoshi always canonically, there you go, spoken cutesy third-person caveman English? Question mark.
I think they made that up for the show.
Oh, that's like, because the very first thing I was just like, okay, all right, okay, and then Yoshi spoke, and it was like,
times we've seen it is, I guess, in Mario 64 when you talk to him on the roof and he has the typo.
The typo.
I feel bad saying this. I never finished it. I never even got halfway through the game, so
it's okay. This is a non-Super Mario 64 playing room. No one here has beaten or really played much of Super Mario World. No, sorry, Mario 64 or Mario World. I haven't played much of Mario World.
Oh, it's fantastic to this day. I love that game.
It's on
my list.
Yeah, everything's on the list.
And before we did Mario 3, I went and played that game, which I was able to beat due to the restore points.
Rewind feature or the save states?
The rewind feature on the Switch Online.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
It's like I die and I'm like, oh, dang it. And then I die again. I'm like, ah, dang it. And I go back and it's like, ah, dang it.
This keeps happening.
I did the same exact thing for Sonic 2.
It's okay.
As a child, I could never beat that, and I haven't played it since like I was 10 or something. And I realized that, now that we have the Sega stuff on the Switch, I was just like, oh, I can use that, and I finally beat it the other day. Or like a month ago. I was so excited, but at the same time I told my friends, they're like, hey, we beat that like when we were 10. Like, what's your problem? You're cheating.
I mean, that's the truth to really mastering a game. You don't go in having it perfect, being like, when I was a kid, I just sped right through this game. It's like me playing Mega Man X. I needed every single handicap available to me. I even looked up like okay, where exactly do I stand? So Kaiser Sigma doesn't absolutely slaughter me. He did over and over. But you do it and you're like, oh my gosh. And then you look over and you see some people beating it with like barely any upgrades and all this stuff. And it's like, how? Yeah. How are they doing this? How can they beat it with like not all of the health and 4 full sub tanks? You need all those sub tanks. You can't not beat them without sub tanks. This is evil. But it's apparently it can be done. I don't know. I'm of the mindset that if you need a handicap when you play a game, go ahead. When it's single player, do whatever you want. When it's multiplayer, though, get that out of there.
Exactly.
You don't need to cheat to win.
When I played Bayonetta, I put it on easy mode. And I was just like, whatever. I just want to play Bayonetta and have a good time. I don't want to be thinking about the stupid combo system.
It has baby mode that's like, don't think This is if you just want to play the game.
Don't worry about the combos. It's fine. Just press the A button and we'll do it for you. It'll look cool. And I'm like, thank you. You understand.
You know what I need. But sadly, old games do not have those features. I don't know. It's one of those things that when it comes to modern games, what makes older games hard to go back to is it's like, well, my problem with Earthbound is there's a lot of sections where the game just locks you in a room and they're like, you don't get a shop, you don't get to save, you don't have anything, and you need to survive and get to the end of this room. Have fun!
Yeah, and that's something I've noticed that's popped up a whole lot. As someone that was like not even a teenager, showing my age, when Pokemon Red and Blue hit the States, that game to this day still feels really hard. Especially for someone who's like, I'm going to do exactly what they're doing on the cartoon. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. This is an RPG. What's going on?
That's a lie.
But like recently, I've been playing Shining Pearl. I got it for Christmas. And I just walked up to a lady. Now, I'm not even on my second gym. And she was like, oh, your Pokemon look happy. Here, have a Mew. And I was like, wait, what?
Write that one.
Oops.
I think that's if you have Pokemon Let's Go save data on your Switch, then they'll give you a Mew.
Oh, okay. Because I was just like, you know how hard I fought for Mew back in the day?
And if you have Sword and Shield play data, they'll give you a Jirachi.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not like this one that actually happened in Omega Ruby, where you're going through and you're like at 4th or 5th gym and you're going through, and then Steven Stone's like, let's go on an adventure. And here, have a Latios or Latias. Just have them.
On the house.
Here you go. And it's like, this is bull. Already this game's treating me like I'm absolutely just the Lord. And I'm 10 levels above everybody because I turned the EXP machine on. And you're just giving me this stuff. And the game just keeps giving you things. It's like, you are too generous, game. Why are you condoning laziness?
Yeah, like I was just like, nah, this is gonna be a Ditto. She didn't give me Mew. There's no way. There's no way. Now it's a level 21 Mew. And I'm just like, okay, it's a Mew. All right, fine.
He's just sweeping the team.
My boyfriend's been playing Pokemon Let's Go, and so like he'll get stuck on places. So he'll be like, "What should I do?" And I'm like, "How are you stuck? This is like the easiest Pokemon game ever."
There's literally someone in the background.
So much. There's literally someone that will heal you every 5 steps. And then like I'm looking at the Pokemon he's picked in their movesets, and I'm like, God, there were like no moves in Gen 1.
It's true. I looked up like what can my Nidoking learn that's good for him?
They still have
like
Bubble. Like there was a reason they got rid of Bubble. It was so stupid.
You use Bubble?
Yeah, my starter on this game, like my first starter was Squirtle. So yes, Bubble was there for like what, 5 gyms at least. On this, it's like, hey, do you want Water Gun? And I was like, now we're at level 12. Pinlup is a level 12. Does it even know what a Water Gun is? And now every time I just fight somebody, I'm just like, Water Gun. It can be a fire or a grass type. I'm still beating it every time. I was just like, all right, fine.
They've beefed up the moveset so much that it's just like I can't go back.
Jamie, the power. The power, Jamie.
Alright, so today's episode is called Ghosts R Us.
And we've already done this Toys R Us joke before.
With Crimes R Us.
Did they just forget? Or did they look at it and go, it's fine?
I'd say the interesting thing about this title and why I asked Chris to watch it with us is that it's actually the title of the pilot episode of the Ghostbusters animated series.
It was. I definitely, I was just like, hey, I think she's trying to do something here.
Well, you know, I was trying, and then we watched the episode. I'm like, oh, wow, there's like no ghosts in this episode. Oh, well.
It's not really Ghostbusters.
It's not really about ghosts.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
What I think later in the episode, there's one whole boo, and I was just like, that's not even a boo. That's just a ghost.
That's Boo Diddley.
Yeah.
It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I will say, the more I see of the Ghostbusters animated series, the more I'm like, okay, this actually looks cool, and not just because it's got the Ghostbusters brand, but it's like, this is the thing that makes the brand cool. This is what made
I
it
like how
a
they
thing.
would like go into the ghost cage where it's like they've caught all the ghosts, and like you'd see Slimer interacting with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I didn't
Yeah.
even see
Was
that
that
part.
just in the pilot? I haven't watched too much of the Ghostbusters animated show.
It's really nostalgic for me because I used to have those on, like, it used to come like 3 episodes per VHS,
Oh, yeah.
back in the day. And I used to wear out like the same like 3 tapes all the time. But like, yeah, that show is and it's so weird from the fandom. And I didn't say it at the beginning, but I'm a huge Ghostbusters nerd.
Mhm.
But the fan base really crowds around the real Ghostbusters. Like, it's actually really surprising because even though I do like the cartoon, like we were talking about, Super Mario World coming from the very first like Mario cartoon or whatever it is.
Mhm.
You can definitely tell when they were like, hey, we need to stop using money. Can we what'd you say, $2 in ham?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even think they were using ham. They're just like, hey, here's a piece of bologna, and
I'm the best character on the show. I am better than both the salami and the ham combined.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, here's a piece of bologna. It's more rind, the plastic rind, than it is the bologna, I've got 32 cents and pocket lint. Can we still get the same people to come in and do the animation? No. But it's weird how cartoons from like the 80s and 90s did that. Like you could just look at any cartoon that was more than 2 seasons and you can definitely tell it's just like someone was like, hey, I got to pay for this like Ferrari, so I'm going to take some out of the budget.
I can't afford my sweet Rolex watches without this money. Fit you dig?
Yeah.
I gotta eat the watches to live. 1 watch a week. TikTok.
Yeah. The 80s and 90s seemed really weird for people that made cartoons, and apparently they had a whole lot of money.
I mean, is it John Kay? He's a very lame dude, but he did bring some light into that. A lot of cartoons in the 70s, 80s, and a bit into the 90s were very product driven. You'd come up with the thing, and then you'd make you make a cartoon to sell the thing. And then once you ran out of things to sell, you stopped caring about the cartoon and you let it go. I think there was very much a TV attention span. It's like you could only have so many new things to hit, then people get bored watching the same old stuff that doesn't engage you in the story. I think the reason a lot of cartoons have longtime fans now isn't because they're fun and episodic, but it's because they keep you hanging with a long span story like Gravity Falls, Steven Universe, Owl in the House, etc.
It still cracks me up every time you call
Owl
it that.
in the House.
Owl in the House.
Well, like you were saying, like they would make the cartoon based off the toys. He-Man is like really popular.
He-Man is the #1
offender.
Prime example of She-Ra, Gem and the Holograms, Transformers. Oh boy, that whole series is based off that. But eventually, what happened in the early 90s were creators, people who had influence and support with making cartoons, were like, hey, I want to make my story, not this random thing. And it was really Nickelodeon was the first big, not corporation, but big company to be like, yeah, we'll give you the money to make what you want with your stuff. And you can sell a little merch on the side. But, just make what you want first. And they're like, yeah, we're not bound by rules. We can do whatever we want. Almost.
And here SpongeBob is on for what, 20 years now? There we go.
As what happens, SpongeBob, Rugrats started that way. It was
I
just
think
a
20 years
project.
is an understatement, Chris.
What'd you say?
Bang Rob?
20 years is a bit of an understatement.
I can't keep up. I can't keep up with it.
When did SpongeBob come out?
99?
It was sometime in the 90s.
Okay. Oh, it was really early.
Yeah,
Because the
again,
movie was early 2000s.
2004 was the movie.
Wow.
I
No
only know
shame.
that because it was on YouTube the other day and I was looking at it.
no shame. I literally, because I was a Nickelodeon kid, I remember, the Kids' Choice Award.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, hey, they used to treat it like it was the Super Bowl. Like, hey, right after the Kids Choice Award, hosted by Rosie O'Donnell for 15 years straight.
Go Rosie.
Yeah, go Rosie. Check out this cartoon we have. And I remember watching SpongeBob the day it came on, and it didn't catch me then for some whatever reason, but it really caught on like the next couple episodes. But like I remember going to school and telling my friends like, hey, that SpongeBob show's not that great. I don't like it.
It's totally lame.
Yeah, it's not gonna last.
Guy at work? Like,
Yeah.
Who's watching that? He's making hamburgers? This is lame.
keep saying that he's ready.
Squidward's kind of a lame character. I don't know what's going on with that guy
Patrick's
either.
pretty dumb. We can't do anything with Patrick.
Yeah,
It's
this
the point.
This is no Rugrats.
It's true. Rugrats used to be the barnstormer, and SpongeBob stole the spotlight when Rugrats went on for too long, and people got annoyed with it.
I mean,
As you do.
it swept the rug out from under them.
Ooh.
Okay.
Anyways, we got to get back to Mario.
Mario.
So
That pun was so
writer-
bad it spooked me.
So the writer for this episode, his name is Perry Martin, and this is a good writer right here. He wrote a lot for the Super Show, a little bit for Mario 3, and just this one episode for Mario World. So he did an interview with some people, and he's more renowned for being a John Carpenter fan and making a documentary about the making of one of his movies, but he also talks about his time at Deke Entertainment. And he's like, yeah, they just kind of called me in on emergency to do one final episode. And I was like, man, I'm tired of writing for Mario, but I'll just do what you want me to do. So he typed up the script. And then somehow his script got lost, either from early computers or it just got lost in the mail. But his entire script was lost. And he was like, oh no, it's due in like 2 days. Wait, I remember everything that I wrote, the full script. So he rewrote the script from memory and turned it in. He's like, I'm so sorry, Phil. I couldn't do much. And then Phil Harnish is like, this looks good, whatever. Next, I need to leave. Goodbye.
Let me just fart it out. It's fine. It's fine.
Whatever. Don't worry about it. You don't have to put too much effort into it. It's fine.
Hey, it kind of comes off like something
that's
from memory
true.
too.
This does feel like the only episode that has a continuous plot that knows where it's going.
It does. I mean, this guy knows what he's writing. So for previous Mario episodes, Perry Martin has written King Mario of Cramelot, Mario the Deep, Mario Meets Coopzilla, The Adventures of Sherlock Mario, Koopa Claus, The Unzappables, The 10 Coop Mandments, Raiders of the Lost Mushroom, Oh Brother, Ugly Mermaid, and 7 Continents for 7 Koopas.
And he's just written a lot of those are some of the really good episodes.
Yeah, Oh Brother and 7 Continents are like in the top 3 of Mario 3. They're really good.
So those episodes actually come off as coherent, like better coherent, like someone that's actually played the games and know what he's talking about?
I don't know if he's played the games.
I wouldn't. They don't come off as someone who's played the games, but they come off as someone who knows how to write a 10-minute cartoon script.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we say competent, we don't mean like, oh, it's so accurate to the game.
The way
it's more...
most of these episodes were written was that Phil Harnish came up with the premise for like 13 episodes, and then he farmed it out to like 17 people, and he's like, all right, just figure it out. And so it's like, we don't have time to make an outline, just do some stuff, it'll be fine.
It went from like, you get a 1-sentence prompt, and then you have to write a full script based on that 1-sentence prompt.
So things just go like back and forth, and it's like, why is this happening? Where are we? What's going on?
This never comes up again. Bad writers fall into that trap of, wait, what happened to this thing?
I thought we were making wheels. Why are we on car education now?
What are we doing? Where did Kooky come from?
Yeah,
What's going on?
that's actually, now I listened to your all's episode previously, and I don't remember its name. I literally just watched that before we even started recording.
Was it the wheel thing?
Oogtar?
Oogtar. Oh,
That.
Night Before Cave Christmas.
Yeah.
Backwards, it's rat goo.
Seems to be an ongoing thing with your all's podcast, things backwards. Words backwards. But like, I tried to understand where that came from, Oogtar, because I was just like, wait, number one, Yoshi's talking, but he's also talking to Oogtar, who talks just like him, just not as cutesy.
What we think it is. I'm hypothesizing. I've come with
because
a theory.
they don't tell us the plot of Super
Because
Mario World.
they don't
just kind of drop
tell
you in
us.
there.
You just kind of have to know what's going on, and it's that for the past 2 seasons they had Toad, who was a wisecracking sidekick who'd help out sometimes with plans.
Hey dudes, I'm Toad.
I know a guy who knows a guy. He can help us out. I'm wicked cool. And I think they left him out. They couldn't have him in because there's no mushroom people in Mario World. So they were very situated on like the only person who could be here is Mario, Luigi, and Peach. Everyone else has got to be new, and Koopa, but whatever. Everyone from Koopa's past can be there, and it's fine. So they brought in Yoshi, but Yoshi has a different character than Toad did. Yoshi is very baby. And they were like, what are we going to do without our radical character? Well,
it's
don't
the
worry.
90s. We need a radical character.
We just need one. Perry Martin in his interview, he did allude to that. Phil Harnage offhandedly mentioned that Oogtar was supposed to be a Bart representation. Like he was supposed to be a rad little troublemaker.
He makes me think of Max from Goof Troop if he was written horribly.
He makes me think of Harold Hutchins from Captain Underpants, but really bad. And
you do
no
Harold
George
dirty
Beard.
there.
The moment that you said Bart Simpson, it did dawn on me that that's what they were going for. And my eyes, like I'm not on camera, my eyes rolled so far back in my head. I forgot how big Bart Simpson or the Simpsons were in the 90s. But at that point, why wouldn't you just like, I don't know how many episodes the little cave kid was in, but like
we're not sure either.
This is his debut episode.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay. Now here's my question.
We did the Christmas episode a little early.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's my question. So I played a game on the GameCube back in the day called Bonk, and it's a caveman with a really big head, and you just hit everything with your head.
Wasn't that made by HAL Laboratory?
Yes.
Okay, then I don't think they had anything to do with it.
It's not connected, but Bonk is hilarious.
But like the whole time he's talking and everything, I was like, I've played a game where he's in it, and like they're not super similar. Like one has hair and one's just got this huge bald head. But I was just like, look, someone can. Well, there was no money because they made it with baloney and pocket lint, but. I think the creators of Bonk have something on Nintendo or whoever made this cartoon. Like, hey,
you first. What were they thinking?
Wait a minute, which one?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, we lost our track. Maybe Phil Harnage is trying to write prompts for the show, and he's like, I gotta play the game. And he went to grab his copy of Mario World, and instead he grabbed Super Bonk for the SNES, and he put that in.
Oh my god.
And he thought about it, and he's like, yo, there's cave people in Mario.
Like, this is weird. Why are we inside a dinosaur's intestine? Oh, well.
No, they eat food, and they go bonkers. Whoa, this sounds great. I'm gonna write this into the outline.
Well, like you said, like he had to rewrite this from memory. So like in between him losing it and having a deadline, he was just like, well, I really like the game Bonk, so what I'm gonna do is
he just in the meantime I'm playing Bonk, so whatever. We'll just write it in. It's cool, it's cool.
I find Bonk more charming than Oogtar.
Oh.
Yeah, although I'll give a little credit to Oogtar. He wasn't insufferable. He doesn't
deserve any credit.
I don't know.
You're so against him.
When it's just him and Yoshi for a minute, he moonwalks while he's talking to Yoshi. And again, I was just like, man, I'd rather be playing Bonk right now. Like,
I think the relationship between him and Yoshi is a lot more fun than it is between him and the Mario brothers and Toadstool. Because there it's very like, you're a bad boy. But
I would
him and
say
Yoshi.
it's interesting. It's like Yoshi is the good kid and Oogtar is the little bad kid who's always getting Yoshi to cut up.
I think it's funny that way, that you have one force of good and another force of bad.
Maybe if they weren't trying to push Oogtar as a main character, then I would be a little more accepting of it. But it's just like, oh, really?
I don't see him as a main character.
This shouldn't have been called Super Mario World. It should have been like Oogtar's like episode, like Super Oogtar World, because there's so much of him in it. And like I said, he's just moonwalking, and like at one point he's trying to beat up Yoshi there at the beginning.
He's not the star. He's not in every episode. It's fine.
Okay, good. I'll watch the rest of it now. But like, I was like, if Oogtar's in this any more than 5 episodes, I don't know if I can give the time.
We'll do a count. We'll just tell you which ones he's not in. So we start the episode.
You can blacklist this episode.
Something Perry Martin did a lot of this episode was have people explain things as exposition through their words. Like, we need to go and do this because blah, 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 and bloody blah, blah, blah. Because nobody knows what's going on when they turn on the TV and watch Mario World. So he really packages the setting. He's like, we need to go look in Oogtar in this enchanted forest area. You know, the little troublemaker cave boy who we've met maybe before.
But enchanted forest is spooky, scary.
Yoshi is absolutely not having it this episode. He is the modern day Luigi. Luigi is
I literally had that in my notes at the end. I was just like, hold on, where is it?
Luigi was fine this entire episode.
Yoshi is literally being Luigi in Luigi's Mansion. That's my actual note.
Is it true? Or Yoshi's just so
It is weird to me how this
frazzled.
show was the first spot to show like Luigi being like more of a scaredy cat than Mario, but at the same time, like he's never been afraid of ghosts or anything during the show. Like
That's true.
In Mario 3, like there's the part where he scares the Boo Diddleys off, and it's just like, huh, interesting.
Yeah,
I think they're just trying to write off Luigi on this show.
I guess so. He really has put a second banana in.
He's
the
put his
show.
Mama Luigi.
Mama Luigi is its own episode, but Super Mario Super Show, he's kind of put in second. He's put side by side with Mario because in Mario 2, it doesn't matter who you pick; everyone's equally important. And then in Mario 3, Luigi does have some important bits, but in this one, they're like, "What is Luigi in the game?
Luigi, huh? What?
What?
No.
Nah."
He's
We're
green,
good.
right?
He's
Green Mario. I remember him.
Okay,
Yeah,
and that
he's
also that
terrible.
leads me to this as well. I didn't look up any of the specifics on the show or anything.
Mhm.
Did this come out like right at or right before the Super Mario Brothers movie came out?
It was 1991. It was late 91. I will look up when the Mario
I think
movie
it came out before the Mario movie came out.
The Mario movie came out in the same year that Jurassic Park did. What year did Jurassic Park come out?
93.
Okay, then
Not
it was 2
bad.
years before then.
It felt like that they were really, because we were talking about like cartoons and stuff. Like movies definitely had cartoons span off of them, and this just kind of felt like now it feels like proto Super Mario Brothers, because even though like they have the characteristics of the game, like you all were talking about, it just for some reason it felt like something promotional that I would see on a special edition like VHS for Super Mario Brothers. I don't know why. Like the whole time, and I love that movie. Do not get me wrong. I love it for what it is.
It's a nice schlocky B movie.
It's exactly what I need it to be. It's fine. But it kind of came off as something that was promotional for the movie. It's so weird that I felt that way, and it was like 2 years prior.
I would
I
say
know.
Yoshi's
Right?
a lot cuter in this show than he is in the movie.
The baby T-Rex from Mario Brothers. Yeah.
The brown beige
Like, wait, I
T-Rex.
didn't walk into Jurassic Park?
Oh, dang it. I wanted to go see Jurassic Park. This stinks, man. Dino-bummer, dude.
That's another thing I have in my notes too.
It's all the 90s slang.
All the 90s caveman lingo.
Yeah, like, okay, Bart Simpson, eat your heart out. But a couple of things, we already touched on the animation. My note literally says, this animation, oof.
At this point, I'm not even affected by it.
Oof is a very generous statement.
Well, this episode seems like it's very stuck. Like we were talking about Oogtar and Yoshi. Mm-hmm. Yoshi is, you all said he's cuter on this than he is in the live action movie. His nose is bothering me. This whole episode.
We can see that a lot. His nose takes a hook shape throughout the episode. I've got a picture of it. Hang on.
I'm more so bothered by his arms most of the time, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Because in Mario World, and really only Mario World, because by Mario World 2, aka Yoshi's Island, they fixed up Yoshi's arms to be more human-like. His proportions. He's more of a horse in this series. But Yoshi's nose, it's supposed to be a curve for his cheek, I think, but it really looks like a hookworm.
Yeah, it looks like Gonzo from the Muppet Babies.
That's true.
He looks like Gonzo.
It's true. He's got that Gonzo-shaped nose about him.
But like every
now
time
that I'm looking at it, I see what you mean.
Yeah, and the thing is, they reused this shot so many times to cut corners. I was just like, "There's the nose again."
There are a lot of scenes of people walking in this episode.
Oh yeah, and they're walking at a slightly fast
pace.
So
I like how Mario is holding Yoshi's hand.
I also saw that.
It was so cute.
It's like, oh,
I feel like in this Mario family, Mario is the dad and Luigi is the mom.
Who's Toadstool? The aunt?
She's just there.
She's the babysitter they brought along.
Okay, she's the one who knows what's up.
She'll coddle she'll coddle Yoshi every once in a while, but
that's up to Koopa.
She's not taking care of any parenting duties.
Oh no, not at all.
So they're walking through the forest, and then Mario's like, "Come on, Yoshi. There's nothing scary in here. There's no ghosts in the forest." But they ran into something even scarier than an old ghost.
A big booty.
It's an old man. And
an old man's booty. I just love the butt pan we get to introduce him.
Whose booty is this?
Whose booty is this? It's like, really? You look at Kamek and the first thing you see is how much junk he has in his trunk.
But you know it's saggy junk.
Oh my god.
Sadness of getting old.
Like he's really let himself go.
Oh no. Well, I don't think this is Kamek because this wizard is very persistent that no one gets their name correct. It's Wiesenheimer.
Not Weisenheimer.
Not Weisen. Wiesenheimer.
Wiesenheimer, like wizard.
Toadstool points and is like, no, it's the terrible man, Weisenheimer.
And I'm like, Toadstool, you're standing right next to him. At least whisper it nicely.
That's a terrible, gnarly old beast.
I'm like, well, if he wasn't going to attack you already, now he is.
Yeah, and I get the joke that the name thing is, that's the joke. Ha ha ha. But I swear they said it for I think the guy that wrote this was getting paid for that joke alone because I think we went into double digits about how many times we messed up his name.
They said
100%.
it so many times that I couldn't remember if he was saying his own name correctly anymore.
Yeah, I seriously thought it was still Wizardheimer.
Like at one point, like he says his name, and I'm like, did he just say it wrong? Like what? Did they just?
Yeah, I could remember because it's wheezing like a wheeze. Like
no, it's supposed to be like
does.
wizard, like Wizenheimer.
Okay, so like wizard, but you
Because
replace the
a
Z with an
Weisenheimer
E?
is a mean word for someone.
Oh no.
Well,
Also, I
I
like
say
how
mean word. It's like saying gadzooks. It's not that bad.
when he announces his name properly, there's a lot of reverb when he does it for the first time. And if there's a thunder crash, it reminds me of in Dexter's Lab when Dexter's rival, I forget his name, Mandor? It's something, but he announces it.
Mandrake? Or
I was
No.
gonna say Nandor is a totally opposite show from that.
No. What is his name? Whatever Dexter's Lab's rival is, he announces his name, and there's like a thunder crash, and the dogs start barking.
I think that's based off a joke from Young Frankenstein.
Okay. That's really funny.
Mandark.
Mandark! He's like,
okay.
I'm Mandark! He's like, oh!
Ah!
A lot of reverb. It's really funny.
Anyway, I would probably be calling him Kamek for most of the episode, just because I love Kamek.
So, Weisenheimer, so he's so scary that he spooks Yoshi right out of the group. Yoshi's like, "Ow!" And he just
Yoshi,
runs
outta here!
away. And Mara's like, "Ow, come on. We already had one lost child. Now we have two."
You know,
What
that's the
heck,
thing.
man?
Mario seems so disinterested that Yoshi's gone. He's just like, crap. Ugh, all right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Maybe he knows Yoshi will find his way back home because the food is back home.
Right. He'll come back.
Weisenheimer is like, you guys are in my forest, which means I own you because you're stepped on my property. Now get into this pipe right now. And Toadstool goes, no!
What
We
if
are
I don't
not
want
going
to?
into the pipe.
It's dirty.
They learn how to say no for the first time.
It leads to a ghost house. I don't want to go there.
I know where that goes. I don't want to go there.
Well, unfortunately, Weisenheimer knows about Mario's most unfavorite thing.
Yes. Then what about a babam? I said babam. Babam.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. We can't deal with that babam. We
That-
got
that's- Is that his weakness in this? Because he literally is like going from not caring about Yoshi to that. He's just like, well, Yoshi's gone again.
There's a
Somebody
joke
scared
in,
him.
There's a
Mario
joke in
3.
Mario 3 where it's that they get trapped in Koopa's castle and he sends a bunch of Bob-ombs after them and Mario goes, "Oh no, Bob-ombs! Next to Koopa, they're my most unfavorite thing."
Okay, that makes sense. Out of
I'm just
with
like,
context,
wow.
great. But
I
at the
don't
same
know if
time,
they remembered that or not, but it's funny to me.
It was an episode read by Martha Moran. So maybe Perry and Martha talked a bit and they shared headcanons.
I just wondered if they meant to have Weisenheimer say Bob-omb twice, or if they just accidentally looped the audio.
I like that he said Bob and then he had to say it again to call up
Bob-omb! Bob-omb! It just kind of felt like they accidentally clipped the audio in when the Bob-omb showed up.
It would have been really funny if he was snapping his fingers and he couldn't snap his fingers. Like I said, Bob-omb, Bob-omb,
Bob-omb,
Bob-omb, there, Bob-omb.
I just found that to be such a weird thing. I'm glad I have context on it because it was just like, you're Mario, bro. The show's named after you. It is your world. How many times have we just
One
me playing
bomb?
as
Really?
you? Yeah, one whole bomb and you're just like, Yoshi left. I can't take this. Take me. Chain me up.
Whatever. I'm your prisoner. So we cut
Ghost
back
house? Sure, why not?
to Yoshi, who's running away.
It's like that scene in Snow White when she's running through the forest.
It is.
And she's like, ah!
And so Yoshi stops and it's like, oh, Yoshi is a true coward now. Yoshi ran away from all of his friends like a
I love
real
Yoshi's
loser.
little monologue here.
But I love how Yoshi keeps going back and forth. Yoshi does not want to be alone.
And then the trees start growling and he's like, on second thought, Yoshi wants to be alone very much.
Yoshi would like to be alone and safe. Yoshi not safe. Yoshi's just struggling
So cute.
alone. So we do hear some of the moaning and groaning is coming from Oogtar, who's swinging
making
through
a
the
Tarzan noise.
Oh, wow.
That was also really big in the 90s. I don't know why, because nobody even cared about Tarzan in the 90s
Didn't
until the
Tarzan
cartoon.
come out in 2000?
Yeah.
Like 99-ish. Like right
2000
before.
on the nose, because there was that trailer with the 3D jungle that made it
2000 was the
2000.
dinosaur. 2000 was the dinosaur movie.
I thought 2001 was the dinosaur movie.
I don't know.
Tarzan 1999. Dang, I am in the wrong.
I just listened to the soundtrack because Phil Collins is amazing. But like I remember just seeing on the soundtrack that it came out in 99. So I was just like, yeah, it just felt like even you had George of the Jungle, the movie and stuff like that came out. But I feel like I heard more Tarzan noises in the 90s than I heard for the rest of my life. And I don't know why. There's just something.
It's because cave people were in. So it was easy to connect cave people with
people were
Tarzan.
never in.
They were cool.
All those rabid Flintstones fans. Whoa. Yabba dabba doo.
They all, you know what happened is they all grew up with the Flintstones and then they incorporated the things that they grew up with into the products that they are creating. It's like how we're now seeing a lot more anime jokes in cartoons because people who grew up with Toonami and early anime are now the ones producing said animation. So we got a lot of early 2000s and late 90s anime jokes and stuff like OKKO.
It's like the one episode of Coconut Fred where they just straight up do a Final Fantasy VII spoof the whole episode.
That one's insane.
You literally have the coconut dressed up as Cloud Strife.
With the hair, and then the scary big green apple is Sephiroth.
And then they play like a similar MIDI version of the music, and it's just like, oh my god.
Who allowed this?
Who on Coconut Fred really likes Final Fantasy VII?
Maybe someone, instead of working, they were playing 7 because they were trying to figure out a way how to defeat the emerald weapon. And they were like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm researching for things that the kids like. Pop culture.
How do you do, fellow kids?
How do you do? I know Cloud Strife. Yeah, who's your favorite? Tifa or Aerith?
Which one has the boobs?
That'd be Tifa. Humba dubba booba. Anywho. So Oogtar swings in and he announces himself to be king of the jungle. And he's like, Oogtar, the best guy. And then he has a lasso and he starts chasing Yoshi.
Why? So mean. Poor Yoshi.
I think it's that Oogtar is playing, but he's being a little mean when playing. It's like picking on someone when you're playing.
It's a 90s thing.
Until you get into trouble.
Cool.
And then you come together, and then you can be a little vulnerable with each other, but not too vulnerable, because you gotta be cool. And it's not cool to show emotions.
That is a 90s staple if I've ever heard it. So yes, correct.
To be cool to not show emotions.
Yeah,
but it's not cloud level yet where having no emotions is the cool thing. It's
you have to be like really cruel to the point to where it's just like, well, that person doesn't want to be around me anymore. And then you gotta be like, hey, listen, I've had a hard life. I apologize. And everything's cool and we have a team up.
Yeah, so you can just forgive everything that I've ever done. Okay, thanks.
Then we can be buddies.
Sorry,
we must form an uneasy truce together.
I kind of took it as Yoshi was like being preyed upon. Like I really thought that Oogtar was just like, yo, I'm hungry.
I think it's that Oogtar was having fun playing, and then that playing got out of hand.
Slightly more thought into this episode, I think they should have had Oogtar be shadowed out until he got revealed, because clearly it's Oogtar showed up and
Peach,
Yoshi's like, oh my gosh, I'm being attacked. Oh no. And then later he's like, oh, it's just Oogtar.
Peach, this is 1991. You think we can do that with cell animation?
I don't know.
Layering's hard. We can't
figure out those night colors.
We can't even figure out what Yoshi's nose needs to look like on a regular shot. Yeah, totally. No, we're not doing that.
So they're playing. Yoshi's not playing along though, and Oogtar
There's
is.
no time for a snack.
I know.
Even though Yoshi would really like a snack right now.
Yoshi jumps over the piranhas. It's like a bunch of tiny ones.
And when Yoshi jumps over, they don't care. They're like,
That's because Yoshi's got the leg strength for it to properly jump over, but then Oogtar does. They're like human meat, and they jump down on Oogtar. And Oogtar's like, oh no, Oogtar not having fun anymore. Oogtar, plant food, Dino-bummer.
I feel like when they had scripts for this, like they didn't know where to stop. So they were just like, hey, person in the in the booth doing the vocals, can you just keep going?
Just
keep going. Just have ad-lib distressed phrases.
Yeah,
just
and eventually like
phrases. And we'll just slot in whatever.
Yeah, and by the time that they're like tired of it, or that's all that they can do for that day based on their, again, bologna and pocket lint budget or ham. By the time they're done with that, they're just like, okay, we'll something from that. Just get out of here.
We'll figure it out.
And then they realize they have to fill 10 minutes, and they're like, oh, I guess we'll just use all of it. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So Yoshi is to the rescue by eating the enemy, and he turns around and he eats the enemies, and then
I'm like,
Yoshi,
you should just let him be eaten. And this episode would have been over.
Ready for him to? It wouldn't have been over because Mario and Coco are still kidnapped. So Oogtar's like, "Wow, that was so cool of you, Yoshi," and then Yoshi goes, "Excuse me." Sorry. I really love his line. It's very polite. Excuse me.
I'd say the one line I did like from Oogtar when he went, "You excuse." I was like, okay, that's cute.
Excuse me? Excuse you.
And then Yoshi's like, oh, it's just Oogtar. Oogtar is big butt.
Oogtar butt. No, and then Oogtar's like, you my best friend now, Yoshi. And he says,
Yoshi's like, Yoshi doesn't need
friend.
Yoshi doesn't need friend like Oogtar. Yoshi has standards.
So then Yoshi asks, Oogtar, we were looking for you. Where were you? And then Oogtar, he's also talking third person. He says, Oogtar, not lost in the forest. Oogtar just not sure where he is. It's
but
like,
he's the king of the
this
jungle.
again. It's weird, but he says that in a way that I'm like, okay, I can't hate this, but it is annoying when someone's like, they're denying it, but they phrase it in a different way.
He's just completely full of pride, and he doesn't want people to know that he's still a child. Which, once again, very 90s, but
yeah.
Sometimes it works better than other times.
Anywho, so Yoshi and his weird gonzo nose are talking about how they need to go and rescue Mario and Co because they got captured when they were trying to help
find
Oogtar.
This stupid head.
And then Oogtar's like, you know what, Yoshi? You are my best friend. Oogtar 100% down to help. Oogtar not know what percentage is, but Oogtar ready to help. It's true though. It's like he's just like, okay, let's go. He doesn't try and leave, and then Yoshi has to pull him back. It's like
he's trying to get the Marios to owe him one.
He's seeing the evil in this kid.
This kid is literally Kevin McAllister from Home Alone sometimes. Like, you just see there's some like kid. Yeah, exactly. You just see some menace behind these cute, cave person eyes, but inside he craves violence. And that's what it feels like.
I mean, in Home Alone, that's that would kill a man what he did to those two robbers.
Yeah.
He broke their skulls, burned their hands.
He literally sets one of them on fire. Like, it's just, it's cute and all from the outside, but there's something on the inside.
You're half laughing because it's karmatic retribution. It's like, oh, these guys, they tried to steal from me. Well, now they'll know the pain of burning alive.
Being moisturized.
And moisturized. So we go back to where Weisenheimer is keeping the Mario and Co. And they're
so he's keeping them in a ghost house, which I think was Was that
Mario
introduced
World.
in Mario World? Okay.
Yeah.
I love how they had the Ghost House music playing in the background. I'm like,
It
all
is
right,
true.
that makes it.
That is one thing that I like really liked about this was they kept to the music where, they had the licensing for it, but like on cartoons they usually don't keep the same music. They'll just have whatever. And we'll talk about that other song that pops up.
Yeah, that was a fully original song.
On a budget.
Yeah.
On a budget sense, they probably just did that because they didn't want to write new songs or get an orchestra or something. And they're like, we have all this music from the game. Let's just use that.
Yeah, that's great that they did that.
Reorchestrate it in a way. It's
We'll
not
just keep reusing songs that we used back in the Super Show. It'll be fine.
It's fine. So Weisenheimer, he's lecturing the party for still not getting his name right.
Oh, Weisenheimer, why are you doing this? Why have you captured us? He's like, well, it's because I'm a dick.
Yeah, a twirling mustache. It's like, I'm an end game. Yeah.
And evil people do evil things. I think we talked about this before in Mario 3, but Koopa mentions once that he's just evil, and evil people do evil things. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It's like, that's a very black and white way to look at the world there.
Are we insinuating at all that Koopa's related to Weisenheimer in any sort of way, or are they all just Koopas, and Koopas are just evil?
I mean, are all people related to each other?
True.
I guess not.
It's a very broad species. Not everyone is someone else's cousin.
Well, that's such a... The evil thing is such a proto Joker thing from the Dark Knight, where he's just setting money on fire. It's just, like he says, I'm just a dog chasing a car. Just that, I'm evil. Deal with it. I don't need the backstory of, King Koopa was,
he had to grow up on his own. He had a hard childhood.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, I think the 2000s was when that started to be more popular.
Yeah, I just...
To give people... I think it's definitely also... It's like, can we trust kids to understand that bad people
I'd say nowadays more so nowadays. Sympathetic feelings are more popular.
Exactly.
The big turning point might have been Avatar: The Last Airbender with Zuko, who was an enemy, and then he turned into a...
Well, that's going more into anti-hero.
And now it's Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, it's so weird because, I love when characters, whether it be a cartoon or a movie, are just evil just to watch the world burn, to quote that movie. I love that, but sympathetic, you do like that sometimes, but at the same time, you need to know your source. Like with Mario, I don't need to know that King Koopa was, left abandoned by his parents
and
for whatever reason.
One Kamek.
Yeah,
he's
spoiled.
He's rotten. Just a meat-headed doof.
Yeah, but then
and he thinks very highly of himself, and he thinks he's the king of everything, and that's all you need.
Yeah, that's all I need. I don't need any explanation. But when it comes to someone that has a little bit more depth, I don't know if you all read X-Men or something like that, but one of my favorite X-Men characters, it's okay. I understand. There's a lot going on in that. But Magneto at first was a mustache twirling, man, get you now. X-Men will meet again.
Yeah, then they fleshed out his backstory more, and it had to do with World War II, right?
Yeah, he did
with Patrick Stewart, his bro.
I always remember the scene from the movie where he uses his magnetic powers to pull out this guy's filling.
Yeah, so that wasn't the original. Magneto was just one of those I want to be evil, but in the 80s and 90s.
Magnets.
Exactly. But
look at my goofy hat.
But in the comics,
Trojan warrior helmet of glory.
Hey, now don't you be goofing on Magneto. But
I don't know what his hat looks.
But it is the Trojan warrior. But they gave him the being Jewish during the Holocaust, and they really fed that. And you have that even to this day they use that story, and that's almost 40 years old. So there's a time and place for your sympathetic one. King Koopa, I don't need it. Let him twirl his mustache. Let him have Toadstool on a train train track.
Koopa doesn't have a mustache. We shave around here, minions.
For a 13-minute show, we don't need a complicated story. I did not mean to laugh when you mentioned the Jewish thing, but I thought back to the Batman, I think it was a DC and Marvel crossover where Joker was helping the Red Skull with something, and then it suddenly came up that Red Skull was a Nazi, and then Joker stops everything and he's like, whoa. I murder people, I torture people, I drive them insane, but supporting a Nazi?
No.
We do not discriminate around these parts.
It's
you. I'm leaving. Yeah. Bye.
That's it. As soon as you brought that up, I remember being a kid and reading that and being like, hey, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. But again, I was like 8 or 9 and didn't know like a lot of what was going on with that. But like that gets brought up a lot in a lot of comic forums I'm in. And everybody's just like, look, Joker's not a Nazi. See?
Well, I think it's that even he has standards. Like, I do not discriminate. We do not discriminate over who we torture. We torture everybody.
I think that just happened in
a specific group.
I didn't watch it, but in the Chucky TV show that just happened, like he's got a kid, and so like his kid like came out as non-binary or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the show.
Okay.
But like they were like, "Wow, I didn't expect you to be so supportive," and he's like, "Well, yeah, I'm not a monster. Jeez."
Wow, Chucky, you like your kid even though he's breaking the gender rules? Of course I do. He's my child. They are my child.
What kind of jerk wouldn't support their kid? Jeez.
Chucky is the quintessential dad that acts like he doesn't care, but at the end of everything, his kid's still his kid and he'll support him no matter what. See, there you go.
There you go.
Chucky has some kind of new story where you have to feel sympathetic for him.
Non-binary people are valid.
But now, excuse me as I kill somebody.
Well, now we're caught like hairballs in a lint dryer.
Also, I really love how back to the evil people do evil things for kicks. Weisenheimer says this, and then Luigi goes, "Well, you can't argue with that, princess. That's just
got
how,
a point.
That's just how the cookie crumbles. It's how the meatball bounces."
Luigi seriously is just like, yeah, I'm gonna join him. Like, it's just what it is.
You know, he's got a point.
And he's also got skin gloves in this episode.
I noticed that. That's actually in my notes. Right below that, or right above that note, is something else I'll bring up in just a second. But the skin note, or the skin note.
The skin note.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like,
notes out of his skin paper from skin.
Did Weisenheimer take off Luigi's gloves when he
because
shackled
there's still
him?
the glove
There's
marks.
still the glove marks. There's just
so what this means is that Luigi is a psychopath, and he did that thing that the murder on Psycho is based off of, which is make skin-based objects and clothing. It's like
I don't know. Earlier in this episode, when the saturation was really high, I thought Mario was wearing like a onesie, because like his shoes were blending in with his overalls. So I was like, wait, did they forget to draw his shoes?
Mario came out in his jammies.
Is he looking for Oogtar in his jammies?
Listen, if you've never played Dungeons and Dragons in your jammies, you don't know.
We just don't know.
But the note that I have before that, and it's something you all probably have touched on before. Mm-hmm. I said, going to Mario's voice, was Chris Pratt already voicing him? He doesn't sound Italian or from Brooklyn. Which, again, I thought like this was a product of coming out during the movie. And, you know, Italians and Brooklyn always kind of get lumped together for whatever reason. Never been to New York, so I don't know. But, like, it just sounds like we said earlier, where Yoshi leaves, just like, crap. Okay. Like, it's just so, like, not what I'm expecting Mario to sound like. So
in this show, Mario's voiced by Walker Boone. And so he's trying to take up the reins from Captain Lou. So he's kind of doing a Captain Lou impression, but
he's a lot gruffer.
Yeah. He's trying to sound like a tough adventurer or something.
The older brother.
Captain Lou was more of a food-loving Italian voice. Like, hey, paisanos, I'm gonna go eat some spaghetti. Woo!
I'm smelling some smelly ravioli.
Pasta.
And then Danny Welk was old Luigi, and he was very much a paranoid, oh Mario, I'm not sure about this.
Doing?
Right.
And then
So
Tony
now
Rosato took that up. In the same way, but Luigi is more of an unsure fellow than he is a cowardly fellow.
Well,
like, you sure
Tony
about that,
Rosato
Mario?
is actually Italian, so Luigi definitely sounds more Italian than Mario does. Including all his wheezes.
No wheezes this episode, I don't think.
That's
But
true.
Enough about the
A few
Mario Brothers.
props, but,
We gotta go back to Yoshi
where all
and
the budget
Oogtar,
went.
which is Yoshi and Oogtar. So
All
they're
the budget
walking
went
around,
to Yoshi being scared in this episode.
and Yoshi's like, "Oh, Yoshi, just so scared." And Oogtar goes, "Oogtar, not scared. Oogtar is completely fine."
Oogtar is brave boy.
Oogtar,
Except
brave
for when it
boy.
comes to caterpillars.
Or wigglers, aka cave caterpillars.
Yeah, and I have a question about this too. And I had to the caterpillar or the wiggler or whatever.
Yeah.
When you're on Yoshi in Super Mario World, can't you just from the front? Like, why did we have to go directly like jump over? It was so odd for them to be like
beat the bum.
Yeah, like I didn't know how to bring that up.
Once again, I feel like it would be better if we had some sort of shading mechanism where Yoshi
Yogi Bear.
Where Yogi
Wow.
Bear
Watching Jellystone?
Sorry. Where Yoshi couldn't see what's going on, so the reason he's scared is because he can't see anything, and he's like, "Oh no, Yoshi's scared." But then as soon as he sees it's a caterpillar, he's like, "Oh, that looks good. Actually, I'm gonna eat that."
Yummy,
yummy. Because we've seen well, I don't think we've seen it in this show.
We
yet.
haven't seen Mama Luigi.
But if you've seen Mama Luigi when Yoshi was like a few hours old, he literally ate like 4 wigglers like straight up in a row.
Yeah, he's got the stomach for it. His stomach is an endless
So
pit.
like in sometimes he'll eat them straight from the front. Here I think it was more of Yoshi was scared, but then like once he got the power up, he's like, "Oh, Yoshi brave now."
Yeah, it was definitely tactical. He was just like, wings, I got it.
So I do like
literally he's so scared his legs turn into noodles.
And then Oogtar has to drag him away. That was really funny.
It was great. So then we start
We're
jogging
walking
for our
away.
health.
Yeah, that's what Oogtar says.
I love
Oogtar
how they
not
got
afraid.
so tired of drawing the same running animation that they just started showing their headshots so that they could be like, "Oh yeah, they're totally running. We're not panning this over."
Totally.
Not at all.
No.
So they team up to be one cowabunga duo. It's a Yoshi squeeze a block.
Yoshi totally didn't slide into that power up. Whee!
He slid into the power up, and then he gets wings, and then Oogtar jumps onto Yoshi's back, and then they eat the caterpillar. And then, you know what? Oogtar answers the questions that you two asked earlier. Oogtar asks, why Yoshi not eat caterpillar from beginning?
Well, because
Does he really?
Oogtar was busy running.
And I wanted to run with you. We stick together.
Yoshi not want to be alone.
It's like, wow, we are just answering the questions.
I also love how they start playing the Yoshi bonus round music.
Ooh, that is fun.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's such
you
a good
literally get the
song.
music in this show, and I'm like, hey, that's really refreshing. I like that we're playing like the original stuff. But again, that a wholly original song later. I'm not gonna get into it now.
It's okay. We're getting to it. So
We're almost
Yoshi
there.
and Oogtar fly up to the Weisenheimer mansion, which, by the way, is a ghost house. And Yoshi was not informed of this. So Yoshi is immediately like running away again. He's like, Yoshi not want to go in. No, Yoshi. And then Oogtar's like, that's fine. Oogtar's gonna take care of this. Oogtar's got this in the bag. Oogtar eat
ghost for breakfast.
He's the
strongest.
Oogtar. So then Oogtar starts banging on the door.
You say banging. It's more like a polite knock with a small sound effect. Like, bing,
okay.
Bing, 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 bing,
It was.
bing.
It was.
He knocks on the door, and then Weisenheimer opens it up and is like, What do you want?
Oh, kids. Ugh.
Kids on my porch.
I feel that. Like just being like, oh, kids.
Oh,
And so,
kids.
as a running joke in this Super Mario World series, it seems that they love to make fun of people's weight.
It's the 90s again.
But it's only been in Super Mario World. Like, every episode has some sort of crack at somebody's weight. And here, Weisenheimer's got a bit of a belly on him. And so Oogtar's like, wow, oh, give me back my friends. And he keeps, like, poking his belly. And I'm like, really?
It's true though. We're thinking Phil Harnage had a little
It's like,
problem.
I know we just said that he doesn't need a reason to be mean, but they've given him plenty of reasons to be mean in this episode. They can't get his name right. They've insulted him straight to his face. They made fun of his weight.
Humiliation at its
This
finest.
strange little kid who's knocking on his door is poking him in the belly, making fun of the weight. It's just like,
Says,
listen,
give me back my friends. It's like, oh, you want your friends back when you act
He's
like
like,
this?
send me to my friends. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
yeah, sure,
And
come
he
on.
just zaps him
And
with
he uses his
wand
magic to decapitate him.
to decapitate him.
Well, it's
Don't worry,
because
the head catches up.
when he teleports, the head appears first, and there's no body. And I'm like, did he just decapitate him? What?
No, we're not that violent.
Yeah, I was gonna say this show, like if that had happened, like
Oh no!
oh, it's getting interesting. What's going on?
No.
Let's just go back to sleep.
So Oogtar shows up, and they're like, oh wow, Oogtar, what are you doing here? We found you, but what are you doing
Well,
here?
Now we found you, but who's gonna rescue us?
If you're here, then who's? Oh no.
There's no one
90s.
left. So Yoshi is left alone by himself. So Yoshi starts to like narrate to himself what's going on and what he
I think
needs
he
to
just
think
does
through.
this when he's scared. He starts monologuing to himself.
He's like problem solving with
Gives himself a pep talk. He's like,
so
all
I
right.
do like this. That Yoshi is smart enough to know, like, I shouldn't just knock on the door because that didn't work. Let's find a different way. Like, I can do this, but we need a different way. We can't just go through the front door. So Yoshi was walking around the house.
So he
and
finds
he
this
sees
happy little pink triangle block. And I'm
And
like,
he's
oh,
like,
that's
"Yes!"
adorable.
a triangle block.
Yoshi, go on the roof.
I thought triangle blocks made it so you could run on walls. Like they're an
Now-
angle.
Not when you're Yoshi. You can only bounce on them when you're Yoshi. If you're just Mario, you
Okay.
run.
That makes
Okay.
sense. Okay. I didn't know.
I did not know that either. So
This game's really the show's keeping to the lore of the game.
So
Like, really
Yoshi's
well.
like, all right, Yoshi going to go in and find Mario and friends and leave.
Get the heck out of here.
So he jumps on the block and then he jumps into the room.
Then we start the song of this episode, which I think it was supposed to be Cootie Pie's voice actress singing.
Yeah.
But it kind of sounds like Yoshi's singing.
I actually was a fan of this song. Out of all the songs we've had to go through, this is probably the best one.
So every episode has a horribly sung song in it.
Oh my!
Because they got into trouble for using real people songs. Not legal trouble,
Yep.
just it was
There's a scene in Mario of Cramelot where Mario goes, "I'm bad," and then they start playing Michael Jackson's "Bad" in the background, which they had to censor out in later home video releases.
Well, they did this a lot. They played a bunch of old songs a lot.
It's
I
like
think the only one that's still in there is
there's the marriage episode where they start playing White Wedding.
No way! Like seriously?
Yeah,
I think
the list.
you can find some of the remastered songs like with the episode online, but like for further re-releases they had to take them all out because they did not license any of these. They just used them anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it was in the budget, but that's crazy. Like as soon as I heard the song, I was like, okay, I know what this cartoon is doing now. Hey, we like, especially you saying hey, you need to script like tomorrow for this. They're definitely like, hey, can you just put a couple notes and a couple words about ghosts in it? Yeah,
Look, we'll just start singing about what we've done in this episode. It's fine. Here's the screenplay. Just sing the screenplay. It'll be fine.
All right, I pulled up a little list of some of the songs that they played, so I'll just mention the ones that I recognize. So they played Surfin' Bird, Bad, Proud Mary, I Heard It Through the Grapevine, The Power of Love, Danger Zone, Born to Be Wild, Great Balls of Fire, White Wedding, Weird Science by Oingo Boingo.
They did Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Is that in the Frankenstein episode?
Hot. Yes, it is.
Oh,
nice. Do You Believe in Magic?
Wow.
Jingle Bell Rock, Beat It, Walk Like an Egyptian, I Hear You Knockin', and Kung Fu Fighting. There's many more songs, but those are the ones I at least recognized.
The Power of Love one, is that Celine? I don't remember when the Celine Dion song came out, but that's definitely Huey Lewis in the News, right?
That's exactly what it says.
I'm going to have to go watch that episode.
Which one was it?
It was the episode for Love 'Em and Leave 'Em.
That's
that one.
Amazing.
That's the one where Mario is forced into marrying Queen Rotunda.
I'm writing that down really quick.
Surprisingly, it's one of the episodes that Koopa does not appear in.
He doesn't need to show up. He's cool.
He also doesn't show up in this episode.
That's another thing. He's in the intro.
Weisenheimer.
He's in the intro. He looks terrible.
You do not like how he's green?
No, it's just like because he's not in that. I was just like, okay, this isn't Bowser because Bowser's not around yet. But I was like, that still looks like garbage. What's going on?
So they designed him back in the original Super Show, back when the only games were the original Mario Bros. And Mario 2, and I guess they thought Wart was also a version of Koopa, so they kind of made him this green dinosaur guy.
I think they looked back to Mario Bros. And they're like, okay, what does Koopa look like? He looks green.
And I guess they didn't want to update their character model sheets, so they just kept Koopa the same the whole way through.
Yeah. Because by this point, Bowser was definitely correctly colored.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
At least somewhat.
Yeah, you'd see him in his clown car. He was correctly colored.
Something else I have in my notes. I did bring my notes later on. I was just like, yeah, Koopa looks like garbage. I said Yoshi is literally being Luigi in Luigi's Mansion, like we had talked about before. But right below that, I was like, better episode. What if we had the introduction to Professor Egad right before he goes into the mansion?
That would be so funny.
I know we're predating this, but man, I was just like, this is Yoshi's Mansion. Let's just do it. Just do it.
Okay, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking to the.
They all leave the mansion, and then you see Egad walking up like, "Ooh,
what's going on here?"
Yeah.
They do that in the game Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. You see a young Egad, and he's like, "I've been thinking about starting ghost studies."
I haven't played that. I need to play that.
It's after you blow up his lab on the volcano. He's like, well, this lab shot, but there was a really nice property in Boo Woods.
I feel like Nintendo treats Egad like they're just like, you know what? If we need some kind of like bodily harm comedy, Egad's got it. We got this.
Oh no.
Property destruction.
His running animation in Luigi's Mansion 3 is so funny. Like when you flash him with the flashlight and he does like the Marilyn Monroe pose, like, oh! And his glasses fly up. It's so funny. I did look it up. Apparently, the Big Boo is sometimes called a Mega Boo. That's what I was thinking. And the only other time it's been called a Mega Boo is in Mario Galaxy 2. And so it's called a Mega Boo when it's like one Big Boo with a bunch of smaller ones next to it. Otherwise, if it's just by itself, it's a Big Boo.
Okay. Oh, but I do want to mention that the Big Boo in this episode, when he walks up to Yoshi, when he floats up to Yoshi, he starts doing like this movement with his arms. Okay, I did not see him snapping his fingers at all. I saw him doing like the pelvic thrust thing.
Well, no wonder Yoshi was terrified.
Yoshi's innocent. No.
Hey, you're supposed to be shy.
This Boo's looking for action.
Oh, Lord.
Anywho, So
it's time
Yoshi's
for
going
our-
through doors, and thankfully he walks right into the door where the prison is. Good job,
Thankfully,
Yoshi.
no one was expecting him, despite how much noise he's probably been making running through the mansion. Weisenheimer was probably like, "Oh, it's just the building settling."
I like that they at least kept in canon that every time he looked at the ghost while he's getting chased and the song's going, that the ghost stopped.
Yeah.
Get embarrassed, yeah.
Yeah.
So Yoshi walks into the room and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm here." And then Weisenheimer's like, "I've had enough of you guys just
coming into my house, touching all my furniture,
touching me,
looking at me, judging me.
Jumping on the little pink thing to get up in my house. Get out."
I'm gonna use this wand right here in my hand to get rid of you."
And then Yoshi's dodging a magic, and then Oogtar's like, "Yoshi, just eat the wand."
I didn't
and then
even
Yoshi's
think
like,
they attacked him at all. I thought Yoshi just ate the wand straight up.
"No, you guys attacked." And then Oogtar's like,
Okay.
"Yoshi, eat the wand." And then Yoshi's like, "Oh,
right, I can do that."
So then Yoshi eats the wand.
Maybe Yoshi just has to be reminded that he can eat stuff. It's like
Maybe
Kirby.
he's like banned from eating anything that's not immediately food or has been condoned before.
They've successfully trained him now to not eat everything in sight.
I guess so. It's like everything. You can't eat everything. So you have to say what is
Luigi
and is not
got
allowed.
mad at him eating all the stop signs.
Yep.
It's
like,
just like,
that's it, Yoshi.
it's like telling your dog, like, "Hey, stop jumping on people." And it's just like, "Hey, jump on that guy. That's the guy you need to be jumping on." That's exactly the same thing. So Yoshi is hungry dog.
Well, luckily for us, wands are delicious scrumptious.
Yes, delicious scrumptious, and they make you burp magic.
Burp magic.
So go,
But-
I know he burps fireballs. I'm not sure about magic.
It's a specific magic in this cartoon, though, because he hits the ground.
It's called the Deus Ex magic.
it does whatever the heck they feel like at the moment. Like all the magic wands in the
what
show.
it needs to do.
I will say nice attention to detail. When he spits up the magic, it's got the PlayStation symbols on it, like it is in the game. So,
Yeah.
so good on them.
Good job. They used the right symbols. So it undoes all the chains. Everyone's unlocked.
And now Weisenheimer's like, "Oh crap, now I can't do anything. I'm just an old man."
So then he starts to run off, and then Mario and Luigi go, "Wizard, whatever. We don't care about your name."
They jump on his head, and then he like falls like a board down the stairs, and it was absolutely hilarious.
And Princess Toadstool goes, "Great job, bros. You broke his spine and killed him instantly.
You murdered an old man. It's fine. We're already
There's
in
other
a
ghosts
ghost
in this
house.
Yeah, he's fine.
It's safe, son. Morgan.
I really like how Toadstool says the line, "Great job, guys. You killed him."
Now how are we gonna get home?
Well, something I noticed on my second playthrough of this, before she says anything, like when they're jumping on him, Mario and Luigi, the physics of this really I kept watching it. I was just like, how are they doing that? They jump up 4 steps at a time.
Wow.
And I think Luigi even overshoots stepping on Weisenheimer. Like, he doesn't even touch him. Like, Mario gets him, and Luigi's just like, "I'm jumping too. Look at me, I'm participating."
Before that Luigi's jumping prowess is better than Mario's.
When was that? I do not remember this.
I mean, there is the scene in Mario and the Beanstalk where like they're all jumping up the stairs and Luigi's like doing cartwheels and stuff.
Okay, I don't remember
But like
that
when they
at
have
all.
to jump across gorges and stuff, Luigi can always jump farther than Mario
Oh,
can.
that's right. You've got to go across the moat and get to the drawbridge. Me?
I can't. I'm gonna have a baby.
Ooh.
And then Mario's just giving him a look like, "Luigi, get over there." It was worth a try.
That's a great
Oh my
moment.
god, I love that scene.
So I was kind of spacing out here at the end, but somebody says something about like, we just gotta find the key, and then we can get out of here.
So what happens is they're like, how are we gonna get out of here? The door's locked, and Oogtar's like, I will get us out, and he runs like straight into the door or something.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And so then he kind of like pinballs around a bit and lands straight on the block that has the magic key in it.
Now I'm just thinking about Toy Story 2. We've got to use your head. But I don't want to
use my head!
Ah!
You're thinking of the blooper where they all just bonk into it and fall over. Ow! Anyway, luckily this magic key just teleports everyone home. Yay!
Okay, they unlock the door and it just takes everyone home.
Yeah, because this is an 11-minute. We got.
We're out of time. We can't show them.
We wasted all that time with our walking animations. We just got to go home now.
Perry Martin's like, I'm almost done with the script. I don't remember the end.
Shoot, what else happened? I don't know. They all lived happily ever after, and Yoshi whistles awkwardly. Yay!
So it's that Oogtar comes back and is like, Oogtar thankful for Mario and friends for finding Oogtar, and thanks to Yoshi for being so brave. And they're like, yeah,
thanks
Yoshi.
to Yoshi for doing all the work.
Yeah, Yoshi, weren't you scared of this stuff? And then Yoshi's like, oh, Yoshi, still scared, but
and then everybody starts laughing. He literally says, and I find this cartoon to be so off-brand from the game. It's incredible, but he's like something he says, no problem, plumber dudes. What? Like, what's going on here?
That's more of a Toad line.
Yeah.
Hey, plumber dudes.
And again, going on? You all said it is the 90s, so that sticks.
There we go.
Sticks that we're using dude.
We gotta be all yogi in here.
Yo, radical. Dino-licious.
Do we say that in this cartoon?
I don't
think so. Jinx.
Because I promise on as soon as you said that just opened up something in my mind. That seems like some kind of McDonald's, Burger King tagline for like the special Big Mac for like the VHS of Jurassic Park or something.
Or like dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
Yeah, they're Dino-licious. Come get them today.
Dino-licious.
Seems like something they would have in kid cuisine or something.
Dino-licious is a food truck.
They need to show up around here. I'd buy from
I'm going to look up pictures of Dino-licious.
I just keep looking at this picture of Yoshi and I'm like, oh my god. You put it in the Discord and I'm just like, man, how did I not notice that nose?
What kind of food does they have?
Me of something, but
It's truly a gonzo nose. So with that, we're at the end of our episodes. It's time to pick our most valuable paisanos. Peach, you go first. Who was your most valuable paisano?
The only person. Well, I don't know.
Are you thinking about Weisenheimer?
I've been picking Yoshi a lot. I don't know if my love for
favoritism
Weisenheimer just comes from my Kamek favoritism. I suppose he's not Kamek. I'll go with Yoshi.
I'm also going with Yoshi.
Truly, he does pull his weight.
It was his episode.
But hasn't every episode been his episode?
It's almost been his episode every episode.
He's the only one that does any work around here.
Yep. Although, really, it's Mario and Luigi doing the work. Being the quiet workers.
They spend all their time being locked in the dungeon.
Going, well, I guess we're here.
Guess we're dead.
Yep. Again, Mario's just, it's happening. I can't do anything about it. Chained up. What do you want?
He had one bomb, we're screwed.
So, Chris, who is your most valuable paisano?
It's got to be Yoshi as well.
It's also Yoshi?
Yeah, it's got to be Yoshi because it, like you all said, it's Yoshi's episode, so he has to be.
It's his time to shine. He has some of the funny lines. Maybe everyone had the funny lines.
Oh, this was a very well-written episode.
You could tell it was a seasoned writer who wrote for it. It wasn't someone who called in and was like, what's a Mario?
What's a Mario?
awesome, Mario.
Why is he riding a dinosaur?
We just don't.
Oh yeah, something I didn't mention. When Oogtar jumps on Yoshi, they make the Yoshi noise.
Oh yeah, the sound effects.
Noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh hey! This wasn't like some episodes where they're just slamming on the sound effect keyboard the whole episode.
Like, but it was really Mario 3 was the worst offender because they put the running noise whenever they would be lightly jogging or faster.
Oh my god.
And it got, apparently, according to guests, it would get very annoying.
And we're like, oh, I guess we're just kind of zoning out when that happens.
We tone it out.
You heard it so much, it's just like, oh, did it? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Right.
was there a
I'll
lot of
believe
noises?
I just have a
noticed,
constant running noise in my head.
I think we only noticed the sound effects when they were funny and used more as an idea or representation of something. Like there was one part where Luigi was trying to swim through the air, trying to like stay in the air and not fall into the mud pit. And they used the swimming sound effect for him like thrashing in the air. It's like, okay, that's pretty funny. But they're doing better about sound editing this time around. Ish.
Well, they got to do better at something.
I couldn't understand Yoshi's lines all the time.
True.
Maybe it's the mumbling, but
There was a couple of times, especially that monologue he gives himself, like after Oogtar. Sorry, I can't even say things when he gets captured. But like he's talking, and I was just like, "That's the line we chose.
okay.
That's the one."
I don't know how much of this is just that the preservation of these episodes is not great because the company does not care about them.
They
So, like,
do
yeah.
not care.
Like, I'm pretty
Well, I mean-
sure for the DVD releases, they ripped them straight from the VHS. It's just like, oh.
I think the hard drive, they had a guest on, and they figured out through that guest's VHS know-how that the episodes that are/were on Netflix from the Supershow were ripped from a VHS collection and not from the DVD collection, because there was, I think, one episode where there was just a weird dot in the corner, and they're like, "Wait, how did this happen? Where'd this come from?" And someone's like, "Oh, I know all about video restoration practices and like techniques," and they talked through it, and they're like, "Yeah, that means that this wasn't even provided by the company. Somebody just had this lying around and put it on Netflix."
It would explain how some of the episodes on Netflix have, like, the Danny Wells and Captain Lou bits, and some of them have, like, the more modern Club Mario thing that they tried to push.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
That did not work.
One of my favorite things that's come up like that is we were talking about the real Ghostbusters, the sequel series to that came out in
Extreme Ghostbusters?
yes, extreme. Everything was extreme.
Extreme!
It there for a while after syndication, it went over to Disney for whatever reason, especially in Europe. So in the
Okay.
2000s, it was, what was it, Teen Disney or something like that? They would play it because that channel existed. Netflix, when they had extreme, maybe it's XD, yeah, whatever it is, yeah.
It was Toon Disney, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was teen. Maybe that's because how bad the transfer was. But some of the episodes that were on Netflix 5 years ago still had the Toon Disney logo in the background.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was still there.
I would watch bootleg episodes of the Muppet Show because for a while there was no legit way to watch season 5 unless you bootlegged it. But now it's on Disney Plus mostly.
Isn't it only some episodes? Others are
Well,
still.
they're only missing a few episodes, and that's just because there was either too much licensed music or the guest star is a little problematic.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Tis sad. That just
Otherwise,
reminds
it's a pretty good rip.
of how Nickelodeon preservation, there were a lot of missing episodes from Nick Gas TV shows, like Figure It Out episodes, Nickelodeon Guts, Double Dare. Some of them were missing a lot of episodes, and they're like, where are they? We have to hunt down these VHSs and all this stuff, and it's driving us mad. And then when Paramount Plus came out, Viacom was like, oh yeah, we have all those episodes in clean quality with no bumpers or anything. Here you go. It's just your episode. Here's the whole catalog. Whatever. We don't mind sharing it with you now.
Yeah.
It's like I know somewhere there's a full clean rip of all of the original dubbed Kirby episodes, and I'm like, Nintendo, just release it. I want to watch it so bad.
I mean, at this current state of Kirby dub, it's pretty darn clean. We used to not even have all the subbed episodes, and we got those, and then we were missing dubbed episodes, but now we have those. So there's a
They're
full
all
collection.
It's just some of them are very VHS recordy heavy.
Well, it's because they aired like twice.
They still got a few of the Foxbox bumpers on them, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
That just adds to the immersion.
I bought it's not Kirby, but Men in Black had a cartoon, and I bought at a con. I spent $40 for a 5 DVD set. That was not legal, but Sony doesn't want to put that stuff out. And the version I bought definitely had commercials, bumpers, everything on the episodes. I genuinely,
it makes it more authentic.
I do appreciate that. But at the same time, sometimes like the VHS lines will come through, and I'm just like, look, come on. I will give money for someone to give me a clean episode of whatever episode it was. And then the other disc didn't work, and that was 3 years ago. This was pre-COVID, so I can only watch one disc of 5. Great.
Yay.
That just reminds me of Julia. She has old Barney tapes, and one was playing recently, and I looked at it, and it was just, it's when you wear the tape out, literally, and it starts looping the photo, but the audio's fine. It's just the image quality is, you can't even see what's going on. It's chick, 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 chick. It's like, dang, this is one love
we're so
VHS
spoiled nowadays.
about pumpkins.
It's like people always talk about the good old days of VHS. I'm like, yeah, I remember you had to like rewind it every time you wanted to watch it. You couldn't skip through the movie. You had to sit there and watch the whole thing.
Sometimes your VHS would get stuck in.
Sometimes the spaghetti
VCR.
would fly everywhere, and you'd have to get a pencil to fix it.
That was with those
I mean, it's fun every once in a while, but like nowadays with movies, I'm so glad we have what we have now.
See, same, absolutely.
But I can think of new problems with movies, such as buffering movies.
Ugh.
I would say subtitling was a lot harder back in the day.
Yeah,
because like you had to put the subtitles in with the film reels, which is why they look so blocky and yellow.
Well, even like today, even if you stream off of DVD, like Disney Plus has everything that is digitally 4K or whatever. Like if you can do it, some movies don't need 4K because they were created on garbage, and they look like worse garbage now.
That reminds me, it's the cartoons created with Flash can be, because they're made with vectors, they can be in possibly 4K and higher. They can be absolutely breathtaking and like the cleanest, crisp quality, but traditionally drawn shows like Avatar, Last Airbender, Danny Phantom, etc., are forever stuck at 420, and you'll never get them out of 420, and you're just gonna have to suffer with the 420.
Right.
Unless someone went through and painstakingly redid every single frame, it's like, nope.
No one's doing that.
No, nobody's doing that whatsoever.
What old TV show surprisingly still looks so crisp is Mucha Lucha.
Yeah, that's
it was
the Flash animated one.
It was the first TV show done completely in Flash animation, so they were able to fully upscale it into HD.
And also into 16:9, because originally it aired in
3:4. Now I'm looking at it, it looks like it's from Flash, and I still like that art style.
It's very early Flash, but like they did what they really, there's some shows out there that can really pull out all the stops with Flash. I'd say Wander Over Yonder especially, like that one is amazing considering it's all Flash animation.
I think the key to using Flash is that it's not the answer, it's a tool to help with the answer.
I'm just so used to people being so cheap with Flash, like on all those PBS Kids shows.
We're not talking about Arthur and
Cyber Chase and Caillou. It's just like when they switched from 2D to Flash, and they were
2D to 3D.
Sorry,
They switched
when they
from
switched from
traditionally hand-drawn.
traditional hand-drawn to flash animation, and they clearly dashed the budget, so everybody just looks like a horrible puppet imitation of themselves.
And
It's
everyone's
like,
skin colors are
oh.
weird. It's like, ah.
It's like
Wasn't
everyone was
Word
so
Girl
sad
in
that
Flash?
Arthur. Yes, and Word Girl was done very well, so it didn't have the same fallings as the other
That's
ones.
true. I think the key to have a good Flash show is to start with it. Don't transition to it, because Nature Cat is also animated in Flash. Pig plus Cat, I think, was Flash. It might have been something
well,
else.
Pig plus Cat's thing is that it's very stylized, so the Flash works with it.
Yeah. What's another anime that
oh,
Pig
what's
is?
that? What's that one? It's not Monster High. It's the Ever After High. Is that what it's called?
I'm like, yes! Oh my
that
gosh.
one is fantastic. The animation is so good because, like,
It's because they weren't with Monster High.
It's a very detailed character model, but like they make the Flash work really well with it, and like they don't have to keep drawing the character over and over because it's Flash.
You can just reuse the same rigs. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's another, like, I wouldn't call it 10 out of 10, but it's a show that's like, it had no right to be this good.
It was a
for
lot
what it
better
is.
than I thought it would be.
I didn't realize because I started looking up, like you all said, like the Flash cartoons. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah,
that was another one.
That was along with Wander Over Yonder. Those were both done by Craig McCracken, who did Powerpuff Girls, and he knows how to animate well.
Is Kid Cosmic also Flash? Or is that one more hand-drawn?
But it's done in more of a comic book style, and they use stuttering animation to make it look more retro, and it's very well animated.
That's crazy. I didn't realize all the stuff that, like, shows that use that. Like, I'm just going down a list on Wikipedia because, you know,
you remember the bad shows and not the good.
Yeah.
The true good Flash cartoons are ones that you don't realize are in Flash.
Like, looking at this one actually surprised me, but I started thinking about like season 1, and this is more of like a recent like cartoon, but Bob's Burgers, the first season, they used Flash. And after that they used Toon Boom Harmony, which I don't know what that is. But they I'm thinking about like that first season because my wife and I watch it all the time. I'm glad that joke has transcended my stream and gone to somebody else. But like, it actually, like, thinking about it, it looks totally different, and I'm starting to think like Wonderful World of Gumball used Flash in some. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Wonderful World of
Gumball used everything
because it uses everything.
Yeah, let's see. It might
they
say
use stop
exactly.
motion. They use 3D. They use traditional. They use Flash.
I
they
love
use
that
like
so much.
fully made backgrounds. It's very nice.
10 out of 10. We'll watch again.
Seems like a lot of Adult Swim stuff uses.
That makes sense. Just me sitting here thinking about that kind of stuff that it, like, used to be on when I'd watch it. Everything not look the same, but like I'm thinking of 3 cartoons in general: Metalocalypse, Mr. Pickles, and something else, and they were all literally looking.
That's right. Aqua Teen's Hunger Force used Flash.
That's not surprised either.
It's like when I first explained like the difference between traditional and Flash to people, they're like, I don't get it. They look the same. And I'm like, how could you look at that and tell me it's the same? But then like once you get used to it, you can see the difference more.
You just blend right into it.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense, especially like the new Star Trek cartoon, Lower Decks. It uses Flash. It makes
like,
total
what are you
sense
talking about? The first season of Arthur is exactly the same as the 23rd season of Arthur. It's like, absolutely not. No.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It somewhat annoys me when people are like, it holds up just as good. It's like,
does it though? It's like 25 years old, man.
And they finally announced, they're like, yeah, we're not producing any new episodes. And
everyone was
lost
so
their
upset.
minds.
And I'm like, you haven't been watching for these seasons. It's like, it needs to end.
Yeah,
they have milked the cow dry, gone on to the goat, and now the goat's past its year of milk production. So they try to go back to the cow, and the cow's like, ah.
There are some cartoons that could go on forever and always, but the key to them is how timeless they are. It's like Peanuts as a concept could go on forever and always. Even SpongeBob. to
Right.
an extent, could go on forever and always, but Arthur was very placed in the early 90s, or was it? Yeah, early 90s.
90s to mid 2000s
Like
era.
growing up as a child in that era. So when they try and make newer episodes for it, suddenly we have to do that big technology bump of like, whoa, we don't have floppy disks anymore. We can't air season 1 anymore because no one understands floppy disks. We have to keep changing what their phones look like.
I always think of this one bit in Phineas and Ferb where it's like in a season 1 episode, Candace is like, I'm gonna buy this disposable camera so that I can take a picture of what Phineas and Ferb are doing and show my mom. And then there's a whole bit where she doesn't want to get the camera wet because it'll ruin the film.
Oh,
And so then in a season 4 episode, they go to the gift shop and mom's like, "Oh, do you want me to get you a disposable camera?" And they're all like, "What? What's a disposable camera? What are you talking about?" And then she goes to the gift shop and she's like, "I want to buy a disposable camera." And he's like, "What's a disposable camera? Why don't you just use your phone?" And I'm like, that shows like how much of a jump in time there was between Phineas and Ferb, where we went from an era where people use disposable cameras all the time to where now there's no need for a disposable camera because you can just pull out your phone.
yeah.
It's true. It's like VHS recording technology has advanced so far in the future. I don't know.
I feel like people still remember VHSs because they're more nostalgic. But like when people think of old cameras, they think of Polaroids before they think of disposable cameras.
No one thinks about disposable. I think of the Nikon.
I don't know. I think it's about time we wrap things up, though.
Yeah, we kept you for long enough.
No, it's all good.
So tell us, Chris, where can people find you online?
What is my Twitch name? Hold on. I think it's C Vasco 23.
Okay. Do you have any other
Oh, I can bring up my band if you want me to.
Okay.
It's C Vasco _23 on Twitch. You can find my band Nothing Wrong, no space between nothing and wrong. We're on all of the streaming sites, Spotify, everything like that. And yeah, that's about it. I don't have a Twitter or anything dedicated to anything
You
I do.
have a YouTube?
I do not actually.
Oh.
I probably need to get on that. Worst gamer, worst person to do anything of this, honestly.
Where you put your VODs?
People still vlog?
No, VOD. VOD.
Oh,
video.
Oh no, it's all on Twitch right now. I haven't.
Is it all archived? I feel like Twitch would erase it after a while.
After 2 weeks. Some of my but I probably need to start putting it on YouTube. Thank you. I probably need to do that.
Friendly reminder.
I do have a Twitch, but I haven't streamed in a while.
I also have a Twitch. I'll start streaming again when they finally make another Precure app game. Until then, I'm not streaming.
We did get a capture card for Christmas, so maybe so. I don't know.
I think we've got enough things to do.
Yes, all right. Yes, dear.
I see you. I'm looking at you.
She's looking at me.
So where can we find you, Peach? Besides in
find
your
me-
bed.
Okay. Okay, then. You can find me at peachsupremeart.tumblr.com. Or I guess I'll plug my YouTube. It's just Peach Supreme on YouTube.
Yeah.
Have I uploaded anything? Who knows? Answer's probably no. I think I'm going to post my 2021 art summary on soon, though.
Okay. You mean on Tumblr or YouTube?
On Tumblr.
Okay. I'm
Where can we find you?
DelfinoDurians.tumblr.com, and YouTube page is Delfino Durians, one word. You can find the video for this podcast there on Mondays and everywhere else on Wednesdays. Please subscribe. I'm trying to go for 100 subscribers so I can get a custom URL. It doesn't have to be a jumble of numbers and letters.
I helped with that. I just subscribed, but also my YouTube, is Vasco23.
Okay.
Woo! I love
do have
consistent
something.
branding.
You're
Hooray. It's true. You got a brand. Got to make a name for yourself.
That's why I'm stuck with Peach Supreme.
I don't know. You can rebrand, but it takes a lot, and it's also like, is anyone else using this? Anyone else?
I've been using this username for 12 years. At this point, there's no point in changing it.
Bueller? Too
Bueller?
sad. Bueller. All right, well, that's it for us.
Thank you very much for being on the stream, Chris.
No problem. It was fun. It was really fun.
Having fun watching the episode.
About ghosts.
That's a word
About
for
ghosts.
it. Yeah, fun.
Yep, fun.
This is
All right.
a very ghost themed episode.
All right, bye, Zani.
Paisani.
Whoa! Yoshi eat piranha plant. Dino dude radical cool. Excuse me? Yes, Ghost. Dino dude save Oogtar. Yoshi Oogtar's friend again? Oogtar friend?